Eagles are 6-1, best team in the NFL. You can't tell me otherwise. This is our official game review here for MouthpieceSportsTalk.com. We're going to do something a little different. We're not going to do a review article. We're going to do a review video. We're going to go over the 3 things that I watched. We'll talk about the game, give out some grades. Eagles, best team in the NFL right now. You can't tell me otherwise. 6-1, statement win again tonight after a slow start. And the first thing I watched, layoff / playing with expectations. The layoff absolutely played a role early. They came out sluggish. Looked like the world was crumbling down. Wentz was 1 for 3 with an interception to end the first quarter. It looked like we were in for a long night. Not the case. The Eagles totally overcame it. That's a sign of a good team, folks. They totally overcame a clunker. And, 6-1, playing with expectations. I don't think that played much of a role. I think this team can rise above anything with Carson Wentz at quarterback. I really do. They're going to have to learn to play with expectations going forward. They'll start being flexed into bigger games. They have Dallas, a primetime game. They'll start being flexed, as the season goes on. You're 6-1. You're going to be the talk of the town. You're going to be the talk of the league. They're going to have to learn to play with the expectations. Number 2 is take advantage of a weak secondary. That 64-yard bomb to Mac Hollins absolutely toasted DJ Swearinger. Yeah, I think they took advantage of a weak Redskins secondary. Rashad Breeland played pretty well, but Wentz is phenomenal, though. So, it doesn't really matter who your secondary is, I don't think, at least not on this night. Number 3 was Chris Thompson. We talked about how big of a role he played in the Redskins' wins this year. Touchdown early, but they didn't really use him enough. 64 yards on the night, and including the touchdown. The Redskins receivers absolutely suck. I don't know why they didn't use Thompson more. Cousins was taking advantage more down the middle of the field with the tight ends, with the linebackers out. And, Hicks and Kendricks out, so he was taking advantage of that. And, Cousins threw for 303 yards, so you can't really blame him there. But, Thompson didn't play that much of a role. Only 64 yards on the night. All right, let's get into some grades. Quarterback. Yeah, I think A+, but I'll have a monster Wentz report. We'll try to get that out about 9 a.m. tomorrow. It's going to be more like the Wentz essay. I got a lot of work to do. I got notes everywhere here. You think if I would have took these kind of notes in college, I would have been a little bit better of a student, but, here I am. Running back, I don't think the running backs played bad. I don't think there was a lot of opportunities for the running backs tonight. The way Wentz was playing, it was absolutely ridiculous. Corey Clement, nice touchdown reception. I think Smallwood played pretty well coming back from an injury. He ran hard. He was pretty good in blitz pickup. I would like to see LeGarrette Blount at the end of the game. They finally did put him in, and he had a monster run. So I kind of changed that grade from C+ to B- because of that run alone. So B- for the running backs. The wide receiver tight ends. What more could you say? You got to give him an A tonight. Zach Ertz, 5 for 89, a touchdown. That connection is just on another level right now. It's just fun to watch. Wentz and Ertz, they're just so in sync. Such a joy to watch. I got to give the whole core an A. Nelson Snagler, a total career renaissance. This is what a good quarterback does. He makes everybody else around him better. Aguilar, totally back from the dead. We call him Snagalore here at Mouthpiece. Mac Hollins, I would like to see a little bit more of Mac Hollins. 1 for 64, but this kid can play. I want to see him on the field just a little bit more. Jeffrey, I want more of Alshon Jeffrey, but right now I just can't complain. Wentz is throwing the ball everywhere, spreading it around. I'm not going to really complain right now. Maybe when we need it, Jeffrey will step up and have that big monster game that I'm looking for. O-line, I don't think they played that well, to be honest with you. Our quarterback cannot be taking this many hits. He only got sacked 3 times, but he also eluded a few sacks. Could have been worse. Imagine if Sam the Statue Bradford was back there. It would have probably been like 10 sacks tonight. Kerrigan always a thorn on our side. But, the O-line's got to get better. And now with Jason Peters out, we'll see. Vitai's got some big shoes to fill if Peters is out for a while. I'm going to give the offensive line tonight a C, but it's got to get a little bit better going forward. Wentz does have to get rid of the ball on some occasions. We'll talk about it. But as far as the O-line as a whole, I'm giving them a C. D-line, I'm going to give him a B-. Derek Barnett finally got that sack we were looking for. In fact, he got 2 of them. I think they played all right as a whole. They didn't start out so well. The rotation was a little goofy to me. I guess to keep them fresh, but on that touchdown, they had Destiny Viejo, Chris Long, and Barnett on the field with Fletcher Cox. I mean, in the red zone like that, I'm not, again, can't complain. 6-1, but I would like a little clearer rotation with the defensive line. I'm giving them a B minus tonight. I do think they stepped it up big time in the second half. The linebackers just completely undermanned. There's not much they could do. I'm gonna give them a C minus, but really, honestly, what can you do? C minus is more like an A plus tonight for the kind of guys they had back there. Joe Walker and Najee Good just are backups. I mean, what else are you gonna do? Secondary, A, absolutely. Malcolm Jenkins was the best player on the field tonight, bar none. 11 or 10 tackles. That stop in the second quarter with 6:40 left changed the entire game for us. Washington to punt. I mean, he was all over the field, leader on and off the field. Malcolm Jenkins is. If it wasn't for him tonight, I don't know if we would have won this game. Well, besides Wentz, obviously. But secondary or special teams, B minus. Elliott, my boy, missed the field goal at the end. We can't have that as a sign of things to come. Don't worry about it, Jake. You're still the man. We need you. I jinxed him. I think I jinxed him. I had an A, changed it to a B minus because of the missed field goal. I kind of thought that was going to play a role at the end. Thankfully, it didn't. The coach, I'm giving him a B. I think Doug called a pretty damn good game for the most part. Everybody came out sluggish in the beginning. That layoff, I think, really did play a role. I think Doug called a pretty good game from the second quarter on. What can you say? You have Carson Wentz a quarterback, so I mean, maybe I should call the plays. It's not too difficult right now with Wentz as quarterback. The Eagles are 6-1. They're the best team in the NFL. I mean, like I said, what else can you say right now? They're just playing their asses off. I mean, there's not much more I could say about it. This is an exciting time here in Philadelphia. They're in the driver's seat in the NFC East. Now they got to finish it off. They have everything in front of them. They have the 49ers coming to town, a wretched 49ers team. They got a terrible Broncos offense coming to town. Then they got the bye. Then they go to Dallas, winnable game. Then they got Chicago in town, winnable game. I need 8-1 like I need air in my lungs. I need to be 8-1 going into that bye. The Eagles need to be 8-1 going into that bye. And then, you got winnable games coming after the bye. Chicago or Dallas and Chicago. I mean, 10-1 is not out of the realm of possibility. You got 2 tough games after that, Seattle and LA. And then you got another tough, even though, the Giants stink, but it'll be a tough game in New York, especially the third leg of that, tough, brutal Seattle and LA stretch. It's not going to be a prize either. So you got to start winning the games you can win. Big win tonight. They needed it, had to get it done. 6-1. They got it done. The quarterback's a superstar. He's the MVP. Don't tell me otherwise. Birds are 6-1. That's all that matters. Wentz report tomorrow at 9. Check it out. Like I said, it'll be more like the Wentz essay.